Hi my YouTube family, and welcome to my journey into becoming Dr. Nene Varela. And probably this has been the video that you have been waiting for, and it is how to prep for dedicated, or how to even start dedicated. So if you are a medical student and you are soon taking your first board exam, which is step 1, this video is for you. And let me tell you that I have all the little details on how to even prepare you for this time that's upcoming. If you have not finished yet, don't worry, come back and look at this video when you're done with basic sciences, or basically the time before you take your step 1 exam, so you can have like a refresh or a point of time where you say, hey, this is the time where I need to watch this video and get these little tips from me that will help you out through the whole process. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and before we get started, let me show you guys one of my favorite companies, and that is Ana Luisa. And I got myself another little package. Let me show you guys how much I love this company and their jewelry, because look at all the little baggies I have of my previous like purchases and little goodies I've gotten. But I love Ana Luisa because they're so amazing. They're super affordable jewelry and super modern jewelry. If you could tell, I have this new paperclip necklace that it's trending, and wait till I show you what I have in this little baggies. They have jewelry, it doesn't tarnish. I kind of try not to shower, but I don't really take them off, and it's just amazing, the quality of this jewelry. I have this little pearl, let's get started, bracelet that I also have the matching necklace for, that I love to wear in like elegant occasions or date nights. But I love them because they include recyclable packaging, and it is amazing. They have the little pouches that are good for your rings, your necklaces, and just to store them and keep your jewelry really clean and neat and brand new. They're really based off their carbon footprint, and just the quality and the affordability of their jewelry is amazing. You want to look sleek and elegant and fancy, but on a budget. Ana Luisa is the brand for you. Let me show you the 2 new little products I have, and these are a trend. I think let's start off with this one because you guys are gonna love it. You guys could see I have like the trending paperclip necklace style, and let me show you these little earrings right here. These earrings are to die for. Let me show you. They have that paperclip style. This one is called Ashley Double. They are just the cutest little trending modern jewelry, and they match with the paperclip necklace, and they're just the most beautiful thing ever. But this is just not the only little thing I have. Look at this bracelet. This one here is called Soroye bracelet, and I love this little bracelet because again it matches that new trending jewelry. But look at this little detail that it has right here. Let me show you. Like, this is just the most beautiful brand, and just how dainty the jewelry is amazing, and I truly love it. Don't forget to check the link in the caption and use my code. I will leave it on the screen for you, and trust me, they will not disappoint. Alrighty, so once you have decided when you want to start dedicated, it really just depends on when you feel ready to take this test. But in order for you to know how much you have in forward that you have to do, the first thing that you need to do, step number 1, is to take a practice NBME exam. The practice NBME exams, you could purchase them on the NBME website for $60 each. And my recommendation is, before you even do your dedicated time, your UWorld, full dedicated UWorld questions, take a moment to sit down, do your first full 4 blocks of your NBME practice exam, whichever one you choose from the ones that they have on the website, and see where you stand. Try to do that test the way that you would step 1. So it is 4 blocks basically. It is 50 questions each block. That is not how step 1 is. Step 1 is 40 questions each block, but it's in order for you to be able to get as many questions, so you're going to do more questions on an NBME in 4 blocks, just to kind of get the same amount of questions during those practice exams. So try to do it in the same time frame that you will time yourself. It is timed. Take it serious. Take the breaks when you want to take the break. And just so you see how it really is when step 1 day, exam day arrives and you kind of get the feel for it. This is just your first practice exam, so take it easy. You know, the score might not be one that you really love, but it's just to see where is your baseline. In basis of when you take that first NBME, the score base that I think is very important is the 60% mark. So if you are scoring below the 60%, my recommendation is that you need to focus your dedicated time with a more content review than going into practice questions. You should be focusing at least doing some content review more than your practice questions until you get to that 60-point mark percentage in your next practice exam. If you are scoring from the 60 above, then I think you need to incorporate more practice questions in your learning, still incorporating your content review, but really incorporating those UWorld questions just so you get the little small details that you're really missing. Or just to get familiarized with the way that the questions are asked, because they might be very different than how your school asks. For example, in SGU, some of the questions on UWorld and NBMEs are completely worded differently than how SGU would ask questions. I would know the content, but just the way that they were asking me the question and what they were trying to get from it, I wasn't sure how to answer it. So that's where your practice questions come in order for you to excel on that portion of the test. Again, if you're scoring below 50, incorporate content review more. So either do first aid, Anki, med school boot camp. You could use my code 9010. They will really help you out, including their practice questions, but still include your UWorld questions. I'm not saying don't do UWorld, just focus your content towards more content review and your study dedicated time into content review until you pass that 60% mark. Once you pass that 60% mark, start doing your UWorld blocks. Try to do as many UWorld blocks that you can, but you also need to be reading the questions properly. Read the multiple choice questions very meticulously. If there's something on the vignette that's there, make sure you know it. UWorld really knows on how to, put information is there for a reason. Don't ignore it. It's all fair game. Read the multiple choice thoroughly, and when you get a question right or wrong, I still recommend for you to go through the explanation. Read the main objective from the question. Read why each question has the train of thought. Why is it right? Why is it wrong? Try to do that and really focus your questions randomly. Do them random. Don't try to, if you really want to do your content review with focused questions, you can, but in order for you to get that train of thought on how step 1 is, you really need to add just random questions, because that's how really it's gonna come on the exam. Step number 2 is do your UWorld questions. Your UWorld's going to be your holy grail, okay? Use your UWorld as a learning strategy. Don't use it as if I know it or I don't. Don't worry about your scores on UWorld. Really try to focus on grasping the knowledge, grasping the little details, and getting the information that you need to know. Eventually, you're going to get better and better at answering UWorld questions as more questions as you do. My recommendation is try to finish all of your UWorlds before your dedicated time. And if you have enough time, go and do your incorrects. I was able to finish all of UWorlds in 6 weeks before taking my test and do a little bit of my incorrects. I did not finish all of them, but I did do a little bit of them. I did not get to do the self-assessment tests because I think some of the questions are pretty much the same as the ones you've seen on UWorld. And if you're like some people, and especially me, where I recognize the question, I'm like, oh, this was the answer. So it's not like really justifiable of how good is the test. So I just didn't really even bother to do them. I just really focused on doing the NBME practice questions, which take me to your third step, which is take weekly practice exams. Go to NBME. Unfortunately, you have to pay the $60 for every NBME exam, but trust me, for me it's worth it. I just wanted to get a timeline of where I was scoring. I want to see that increase in score grades throughout my dedicated time, just so I knew that I was improving in what I was doing and to make sure that what I was doing was working. I simulated every NBME exam as if it was a practice exam. For step 1, I made sure I took my breaks, I woke up early, had breakfast. Like if it was exam day for me, I had them every week. I had scheduled my test on a Monday, so I tried to schedule every practice exam on a Monday just so I get used to the weekend and then having a test on Monday. So I really just tried to balance myself and prepare my stamina for test day. That's an important concept throughout this whole dedicated time. Either if you're taking 6 weeks, either you're taking 3 months, you really need to build that stamina for test day. Tip number 4 is try to limit your resources. For me, for example, I just did during dedicated was my notes that I've been taking since term 1 and UWorld. I did not use Anki. I did not use first aid book. I did not use any Borns and Beyond. The only thing I did was my notes and UWorld. Every time I got a question wrong, I would go back to my notes, read my notes, see why I wasn't grasping on topic, and moved on. Because honestly, it was just trust yourself that you read it, you knew it, and go. If you kept getting a question wrong, go back and I would do a video from med school bootcamp and watch a video on that specific topic, do the questions, and moved on. That's why I only stick to those little things. I used my notes, UWorld, and when I kept getting questions wrong after a specific topic, I watched med school bootcamp video on that topic. One of the things that I did the week of my test was that I watched the first 4 chapters of Pathoma. This is really important just to getting the foundations of pathology. This is very high yield during tests. So I just did that throughout my lunch breaks. I just watched quick videos. The first 4 chapters of Pathoma was really helpful. I did that the last week. And the day before my tests, I went to the last couple pages on the first aid book where it has like a rapid review. I basically just covered, if you see on my dedicated blog, I recorded it. I had a napkin covering the side of what the disorder was, and I just read the clinical features, and I was basically name the disorder as I read the clinical features. So that really helped me out the last day just to catch little details, and it really did help me on test day because I was like, oh, I just read this yesterday. So it was really helpful. And I think tip number 5, which is the most important, and it's very tedious for everyone to say this, and it's take breaks and, take time for yourself. I understand is it a very stressful moment, and unfortunately that's the reality of this whole process. But I do recommend for you to, even though you will feel guilty, is to try to step back and take a break from everything and just have a break day. Even though when you think you're just overwhelmed from everything, do something. Go out, have lunch, go to a spa, do something just to change the itinerary and your planning of your dedicated, just so you feel more refreshed. And when you go back to studying, it's going to really help you out to focus. And I think I will add a 6th tip, and this is because everyone's timeline for dedicated is very different. Do not feel unjustifiable that your time is going to be different than your friends. And you might think that this time you want to get it over with fast, but your number 1 priority is to pass this test. Either it's going to take you 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever time it's going to take you. Just take the time and focus. Get those NBME scores where you want them to be. If they're not there, go ahead and change it. Don't feel bad about doing it. This is your timeline. This is your journey. Everyone is completely different. So don't feel embarrassed about, oh, I have other people, you know, other friends that have already taken it past, they're already moved on, and you're still behind. Ignore everything. Focus on yourself. And your journey is the most important throughout this whole process. I just don't want you to feel overwhelmed by seeing everyone around you, you know, moving on with life and you're still stuck. It's okay. Everyone has a different path and everyone's gonna get to the road that they want to. So just trust yourself throughout this whole process. It is a very hard time. You just need to trust yourself, because you are the only one that knows how much work you've put into this process, how much, you know, time you've put into this process, how much money you've put into this process. So, you know, don't feel discouraged about your journey and your process throughout this time. Don't overload yourself with resources. Stick to the most important things. Take practice exams, do your UWorld questions, and keep a track of your scores. That's the most important thing. The resources that I used was my notes and UWorld. Those were my main two little things. If you don't take your own notes, that's fine. I'm not saying you have to. Find your main focus on content, on where you're getting your information from. Is it previous lecture notes? Is it previous lecture PowerPoints? Anything that you've used throughout this whole process that you know, hey, if I'm gonna know something and Google it, or just look through this video or that video and I know exactly where it is, go and watch it. I supplemented any unknown content or content I kept getting wrong with Med School Bootcamp. You could use my code NANI10. They are amazing. They even have extra step 1 questions that you want to do on the go. And I totally recommend them. I will make another video separate on how to use Med School Bootcamp, because they have a lot of really good resources and just how you could use them overall for med school and for studying for STEP, that I recommend them 100%. And your practice NBME exam, I cannot repeat myself any more longer. NBME practice exams, UWorld are your holy grail throughout this process. Before we head out, I just want to remind you, don't forget to check out Ana Luisa if you're looking for an affordable, fashionable jewelry that is modern and it even helps out the environment. Not only do I have these 2 little gorgeous new jewelries to add to my collection, but I also have my rings. I have these 2 from them. It is amazing. I have the little earrings right here that are diamond down. I have necklaces and I just love them. Don't forget to check out the link in my caption, or you could even go in the link in my bio. I'll leave my discount code below, and if you want goodies like these, you will never forget Ana Luisa. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else you would like to know. And I hope this video helps you guys as much as I wish someone would have told me throughout this process that I needed to know all these details before. I only had 6 weeks to prep for it. So if you have any questions, feel free. Don't be scared and ask away. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.